It keeps the pace increased and your brain stimulated to the highest degree. But what would happen if that all just stopped? And then, slowly, soft piano begins to fill the silence, and a sense of peace and tranquility washes over you. Ambience is a special kind of music type, one that doesn't aim to get you more engaged and enervated, but instead aims to get you into a stable state of mind. It allows you to focus on getting things done, or just relaxing and going about your day. Ambient songs can do one of two things: immerse you into the setting of the world that you were in, or just sit in the background and allow you to focus solely on the gameplay. Normally, ambient music in games does both, giving a unique tone to an environment and allowing you to take full focus on whatever you happen to be doing. I personally favor the ambient tracks that come out and try to get your full attention before sinking back into your subconscious, the ones that never change their volume or pace and really let you know that they're there. Ambient music helps convey a variety of emotions that not many other tracks can. Sometimes it can feel like a track is trying to convey multiple emotions at the same time, while others are hard to place on what emotion they're trying to convey. This is what I like most about ambient music. It has no real boundaries and can come in many shapes and forms. They can be tracks with no lyrics or full songs, complete with 7 minutes of lyrics or more. They can have louder instruments or quieter ones. The thing that makes a track ambient is where it sits in the game you're playing. These tracks exist in the moments between, the moments where you have time to walk and take a break. This doesn't mean the music has to convey that. It's just the music that plays in these moments, sitting in the back waiting for the action to begin again. Some games never get into any action and just constantly keep their tracks playing, and others do have action but keep the ambient tracks on anyways. One of the best games that uses ambient music for its gameplay is Minecraft. C418's tracks for Minecraft are some of the best examples of ambient music in games. They are also some of the most memorable for many people. Songs like Wet Hands, Sweden, and Danny really place you into a world of creativity and adventure. These songs transport me into a world where I can do anything, be anyone, and see my ambitions come to life. The subtle piano that fades in while I'm building or exploring adds something to the experience that I can't quite describe in words other than nostalgia and the feeling of being at home. Safety would be a way to describe that second part, I guess. I briefly mentioned my feelings on the music of Minecraft in my Minecraft video, but to add on to that, these songs have not only changed how I perceive the game, but have also changed the way I perceive life in general. These songs sit in the back of my mind in my day-to-day life. Like they do in Minecraft, those tracks just begin to fade into my mind as I'm working, driving, or doing whatever I'm doing at the time. Whenever those songs come in, I always seem to focus more and take time to relax. Games like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing take their ambient tracks to another level. Both Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing have music for specific times of year, specific times of day, and for specific types of weather, all to convey that feeling that the world you're playing in is real, or at least somewhat real. Animal Crossing specifically went all in on that idea that there are different tracks for each hour of the day. The track for summer 9 AM is different than the one for summer 10 PM. It's those little things that really help you get into the world and feel like you're in it. I've played a lot of Animal Crossing over the years, and by a lot I mean just a ton of New Leaf, because I never actually got to play the other ones. I can't count the number of times I've fallen asleep while listening to the evening tracks as I wrap up the last bits of my day in town. Animal Crossing's tracks are nice and fit with many different kinds of media, which I guess is why so many YouTubers use it for background music in their content. Like Minecraft's tracks, the music of Animal Crossing will forever be in the back of my mind as I go about my life. They just have that kind of appeal and memorability for me. And I always feel like I have some little bits of work to do around town whenever I hear those songs start up. Stardew Valley has some of the most tranquil ambient music that I've heard in the games I've played. The song playing right now is The Raven's Descent, which plays during the fall in Stardew Valley. I find this song to be extremely peaceful and fits the season that it's used for in the game. All of the seasons have several great tracks that each enhance that subtle feeling of being at peace. Even the tracks that play when you are in the mines fighting monsters somewhat put you at ease, with the only bits of tension coming from seeing that it's 10 PM and you will likely collapse from exhaustion before you can get home. Stardew Valley sticks out in my mind from other farming games as one that I can really immerse myself into, even if I'm being a little bit silly while I'm playing. I'm not one to play most of these types of games, but this one caught my heart and it won't let go. The music especially is something I come back to even if I'm not playing the game. Eric Barone, or ConcernedApe, did an amazing job with these tracks. Him also making the entire game himself, soundtrack and all, is extremely impressive. It'll be nice to see what he brings to the table going forward. Ambient tracks in games all come in different forms, and some take additional steps in their execution. There are a few I want to mention, so I will do my best to mention them briefly. Starting out, we have City Skylines. The music in City Skylines is an interesting thing due to how it expresses itself. At first, the game has very little background music, if any at all. All you hear is wind blowing across the landscape, and maybe some nature sounds here or there. But once you get started with your city, and people begin moving in, the music begins to fade into place and grows as your city grows. It can get to a point where the music is lively and dynamic. I like this sense of growth that the background tracks provide. Building cities and city skylines feels more rewarding with the music in place to help me feel like my efforts are coming together. Inside is our next game here. Inside's music is very dark and quiet for the most part. It sits in the back as we progress through the game, though the music also fits well with the game's environments, which are dark and quiet by themselves. There's a feeling of decay and abandonment that exists in the world of Inside, and that is only increased by the music that plays throughout the game. At times, though, the music seems like it's coming directly from the environments themselves. There is one particular section that I'm sure everyone who's played Inside remembers. It's the part of the game where the huge bass booster machine is running in one of the underground areas. The music focuses heavily on the rhythm provided by the booster and takes center stage on the puzzle you need to complete in order to finish the area. It's a very memorable part of the game for me because it helped me to better notice the use of music throughout the game. This year I got the opportunity to play Superliminal, which has become one of my favorite indie puzzle games. Superliminal's music is mainly comprised of modern classical piano tracks. At the start and throughout most of the game, these tracks sit nicely towards the back of your mind. At the end of the game though, they come out to the front of things and really express the game's atmosphere. I like it when game soundtracks evolve based on how far into the game you are, and Superliminal is a splendid example of that. The expression of an environment's atmosphere through music is something that I really like, and I believe isn't being done nearly as well in games that really need it. To end off on ambient music, I want to mention a specific state of mind that some games use their music for, that state of mind being rest. Some ambient tracks are used specifically to create a feeling of safety. These songs let you know that you can take a break, take a second to rest and recuperate. The two songs that come to mind when thinking of this are the Firelink Shrine theme from Dark Souls and the Resident Evil Save Room music. Both of these songs are known widely as songs of rest, both playing while you are in places where relatively nothing can hurt you. I remember the first time I heard the music for Firelink Shrine. It was after I had spent an hour struggling with the Asylum Demon and was anticipating the trial waiting for me later in the game. It put me into a state of calmness. I felt like I could take a second to think about what had just happened, and what still needed to happen later on. Dark Souls 2 Majula theme hits those same notes, and honestly, at times, I feel like it does it a bit better, but I still prefer the Firelink Shrine theme to Majula's theme due to my own biases towards Dark Souls 1. The same goes for the Resident Evil Save Room themes. In those rooms, nothing can touch you. You have time to take a moment to reflect and prepare. The specific theme I think of when it comes to Resident Evil save themes is the one from the original Resident Evil remake. The plucking of the guitar strings and the wind instrument in the back really puts me at ease. In those rooms, I am free from the nightmare of the mansion. I will have to go back out, but for now I can just sit and ignore it for a while. Every time I come across a save room while playing Resident Evil, I always feel this wash of relief fall over me. Even if I wasn't necessarily at danger or at risk of dying or getting harmed, coming across these rooms always put me at ease. I've used some of these tracks in my Resident Evil videos because they seem to fit there. They fit in as good background music to work to, or used for content creation, which can't be said for a lot of music. I don't think I will ever forget these tracks and will always come back to them inside and outside of Resident Evil. Ambient music provides a calm and somewhat therapeutic atmosphere to games. It is music you can invite into your mind to help you feel at ease or use to become focused. Though this can't be the case all the time, because sometimes the music picks up, and a grand orchestra of immense power begins to play. You are no longer in a time of rest, but in the thick of the fight. And that fight isn't against something you can level with. It's against something so much greater than yourself.